Friends, sons, got a question for you. When is the last time you painted or gardened or worked out or did something creative? My question for you is, are you still doing those things now? Personally, I have been made aware, and I'm being curious now with Jesus. I'm being careful. I'm shifting my focus now as I get older and as I get wiser, and as I'm learning the goodness of the heart of God for me. He never asks us to be unkind to ourselves. What I'm learning is that he's asking us to be curious and to go to him. And if he has counsel, if he has something to convict us of, he will, on an individual basis, he will make us aware of areas that he's inviting us into something better. And so I've been curious as I've observed a loss of desire to do things that used to bring me a lot of joy, like working out, gardening. Part of that was the 106-degree weather this summer, but now that it's fall, things are green again. But still, like the desire and the joy of doing that, like some of it's kind of gone. I finally got out and I did a little bit of woodwork, but it took me like a month and a half just to get the energy to go into the garage and create something. I thought, it's not worth it. And what's really made me feel that way is that I head off tomorrow with 17 fathers and sons to have an incredible weekend with them, First Tracks, where we're going to trust that God's going to bring us a deeper revelation and realization of our identity as sons, and step into the plenty, to step into the abundance of his help and his grace and his guidance and his fathering. And it's a phenomenal experience. It's literally one of the most joy-filled, fruitful things I've ever experienced in my life. And I have been curious, where's my excitement about this? And just doing the normal things that have brought me life time and time and time again have been a real slog. So I've been curious about it, writing about it, just observant, because that affects everything. If I'm not being creative, if you're not being creative, well, then you're not actually, you're not operating as an imager. God, who has made you in his image, is infinitely creative, and there has to be something that we're always creating. What I've realized, that my creative capacity has been hammered as with some sort of a sledgehammer. And I know what it is. I know exactly what it is, because the Lord's been speaking to me kindly about it. It's my consumption, and it's my speculation about what's going on in the world. Some would say that the world right now is on fire. I don't think it's on fire, but I think there's people are throwing Molotov cocktails at oil tankers and whatever right now. So it's obviously it's not a good situation. But as I went back last night and I began to read Jesus' counsel, because he's the ultimate conspiracy theorist, he knows everything that's going to happen before it happens. And he says things like, do not let your heart be troubled. Guard your heart. Know that this is what I have for you. And so I share a telephone call with some other people who practice hearing God's voice. And I was actually leading that call. And so I was curious. Okay, Jesus, I need to know what's going on inside my heart. So I constructed a series of questions that all of us walked through. And it went kind of like this. Jesus, first I want you to take me to a place where I felt wealthy, where I felt no lack whatsoever and no fear. And so he took me to that place. And in that place, I said, Jesus, I want you to give me my intimate counsel. What do you know about that place that I don't? Wrote it down. Didn't judge it, just wrote it. Then I asked Jesus, take me to a place in my story where I felt scared and I felt lacking. And then he took me to another place in my story that was painful. And I asked, how did I react out of that? What was my heart's response? What did I feel? And so I wrote that down. And then I said, okay, Jesus, take me back to that experience where I felt a lot of abundance, where I felt well provided for, I felt protected. What do you want me to know from that experience that applies to me today in my experience? This is so good. And this is what he said. He said that when you felt wealthy and well provided for, that was actually the result after a 12-year birthing process. I delivered you out of trouble into that joy, into that feeling of being well provided for. He says, you need to believe it. I can and I will do it again. And this was his counsel for me. Hope in goodness. And he nailed me on that because I realized I have not had my hope in any good thing coming. I've been so focused on right now, today, in kind of survival mode that I haven't been believing for anything good tomorrow. For me, for my kids, for any of the things in my life, are very few of them. And he said this, I have it for you. I have good for you, even though you can't see it. So what a rescue. I didn't even know that I needed it. And as he said that, I thought, I realized this, Jesus, like, I don't have anything even a day or a month into the future, not even like the hope for a vacation or something like that. And so it's an invitation for me to believe that as dark as it gets, there are good things coming. Now that opens up another question, Jesus. What good things do I have to hope for? And I'm excited to have that conversation with Jesus. But for in the meantime, in his kindness, he's just revealing, Jay, you need to guard your heart. Are you really believing that I don't have good things for you? Where's the evidence for that? In your whole life, where is the evidence that I would ever run out of good things for you? That there could ever be a season where something good is not right on the horizon for you? And he caught me. He caught me. Anyway, I hope that encourages you. I hope that brings you to a place of curiosity with Jesus and into a conversation that will lead to the rebirth of hope in something and the rebirth of some creative energy in you. All right, take care, sons.